Hello, my name is Charlton Curry. I'm here with Frank Red.
Frank Red.
And we're covering the beautiful Golden One Center here, Northern California, the Sacramento Kings, a team that's on the rebuild. And we know back in the 2000s, they were a team that was always competing for the Western Conference. Now, Frank, they're rebuilding. What do you think they have to do to get back on top?
I think they're in the process of building culture.
Yeah.
Their head coach has built a program in the past, the Memphis Grizzlies. He has a lot of young players.
Yes.
And it's important that they look beyond the wins and really focus on the fundamentals of the game.
Yes.
And building the culture.
I think that's a good thing. We look at Utah. You know, Utah's a really good team. We think about the days of Karl Malone and Stockton. They're right there knocking on the door for a playoff spot, but they have to find that consistency. They have a losing record on the road, which doesn't bode well for a playoff team, but they also have a lot of young talent, and they have a history of playing well at the end, down the stretch. What do you think are the keys for Utah to get back into the playoffs, Frank?
Well, they actually are already almost there. They're a couple games above 500 right now.
Yeah.
Coach Snyder has built programs in the past, both at the college level and in the NBA.
Yeah.
So I think what they need to do is simply follow his lead. They have an excellent coaching staff. And aesthetically, when you watch them play, they play the game the right way.
Yeah.
They have a rising star in Donovan Mitchell. So I just think they just need more games. They got off to a slow start, but now they're rounding into shape to the extent that they're putting pressure on the eighth place playoff team at this point.
And thinking about that, here's an organization, they've had the great Karl Malone, Hall of Famer.
Right.
They've had John Stockton, a Hall of Famer. They know what it takes to get there. On the other hand, the Sacramento Kings, Chris Webber, you know, Vlade Divac is here as a GM. He's trying to build something. He said if they don't get a winning season by next year, he'll quit, step aside. I think they have, with the Aaron Fox, I'd love to see them build the team behind him. And I love Willie Cauley-Stein, but he has to be more aggressive on that. Your thoughts?
I don't like that statement by Vlade, you know, because it puts pressure on the players to reach a goal that they don't necessarily control. I mean, they're playing against other professional teams. What you want to do is preach your process, preach your philosophy, and just go out and play the game. These fans are very, very intelligent. They're not focusing totally on wins. They want to see an exciting team progressing. So I just want to see them play well. Forget about the wins. The wins will come with improvement.
As far as the NBA, I want to ask you, when you think about the NBA, some of the things that are happening right now, the Golden State Warriors, the last 4 years, they've been the top dog. Right now, going into the All-Star break, this is the first time in 4 seasons they haven't been. I know they have the chemistry, they have the experience, but them good old boys down in Houston, they're looking for something, and they seem to be a bit hungry. I want to get your thoughts on if that matters or not, or will the experience win out in the end for Golden State?
Absolutely it matters. I mean, you have a Hall of Fame point guard in Chris Paul now. The Beard, James Harden, has been runner-up for MVP a couple of times, so he's hungry. And you have a coach who feels, I'm sure if you ask him when nobody was listening, that he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. He's never won a championship. I'm still, it harpers back to his Phoenix days where, you know, they had a situation where they could have won a championship. So, you know, the Warriors have won a couple of championships in the past couple of years. Houston is hungry. Their fans are excited. So this makes the NBA.
It makes the NBA, and I know that they've talked about seeding the teams top to bottom, the best team.
Right.
I love what Golden State has done. The fact that even Steph Curry, if he's not on, then Klay Thompson is going to be on. If Steph Curry's not hitting the ball, we know Thompson's there. Of course, Durant is a stud. I think Durant's actually the better player. But Curry, because he doesn't have the ego, he can welcome that in. And I think that's good for Golden State. I think their loose ball cannon is Draymond Green, and I know they need that attitude. But when it gets down to one possession, you can't have technicals if you're going to win championships. And I think they have to cure that more than worrying about who's going to be the hot guy. Your thoughts on that?
I think Draymond Green is an interesting person, beyond an interesting basketball player. And he's learning every day. If I had a team, I would want him on my team. At the same time, I don't look at him and say he's a finished product. He's a guy that still needs to be coached, and he needs to be modeled. And I have confidence in him. You're absolutely right. he can't have those missteps and pressure situations.
Yeah.
But if you want to win, I think you want Draymond Green on your team.
Outside of Draymond Green, I love the fact that Golden State has Durant, who has no ego whatsoever. Here's a guy that can hit 30 points on you any given night. The days of Wilt Chamberlain are gone. No one's going to average 50. But if he were the guy that they gave the ball to a lot, like they did for Kobe Bryant down for the Lakers, I'm sure he could get to there because he's such a great shooter. Is he a liability at all when it comes to defense because he doesn't have the size to battle some of the bigger guys, if that makes sense?
Absolutely not. I mean, he actually, I think, would be one of the few players who are in contention for Defensive Player of the Year.
Oh, really?
He's improved his blocks per game.
Yeah.
He anticipates well on the wing. And he's a kind of a wiry guy, but he's from Baltimore. This is a tough guy. And I think coming to the Warriors, he's built into a culture that was already in place that was predicated on excellent defense. So Kevin Durant is not a liability. He's not an average defender. He's one of the top defenders right now, one of the top guys in the league. So I am very, very impressed with the well-roundedness of his particular game at this point.
I have to ask you this question because we know Golden State and then Houston, those are the two top dogs in the Western Conference. You can also look at Minnesota. You can look at Portland. San Antonio, they're always going to be good, but I don't think they're the threat this year. If we swing your thoughts to San Antonio, I know they have Coach Pop, but they're a little bit older. They don't have Kawhi Leonard. Do you see them being a team that could upset someone? Because I look at the kid, Damian Lillard, out of Portland, that's a team that scares me, especially when he's getting hot at home.
Ultimately, I would land towards the Spurs because they have the foundation of winning.
Yeah.
They've won 5 championships in the past
20 years. Yeah.
Well, 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
So he's proven in the past that in a short series, he can schematically plan to beat the best teams. You go back to last year when they played the Warriors.
Yeah.
If Kawhi Leonard doesn't get hurt by Jaja Pachulia,
that's true.
They blow the Warriors out that first game. They're 1-0. It changes the entire dynamic of that series. So until somebody proves that the San Antonio Spurs are not one of those teams, I got to believe that they are.
Let me get your thoughts as we swing to the Eastern Conference. I know Toronto is a top dog right now, but they don't have that killer instinct. I mean, that's just from the past. I look at the Boston Celtics. I think a phenomenal series with Boston with their history of winning championships more than anyone in the league. I look at Kyrie Irving being the spark plug for that team. Now, Hayward's not coming back, so they don't even have to worry about that.
Right.
Your thoughts on Kyrie being the guy that can carry the team in Boston? Is he enough to overcome, say, his old friend LeBron James for the Cleveland Cavaliers? Your thoughts?
I think in terms of matchups, I think Kyrie will play well against Cleveland should they play each other in the playoffs. However, I don't think this Boston team can beat Toronto. Toronto's depth, to me, is the best in the East. In the East, excuse me. They're hungry, and I think they do have a couple of dogs on that team. We look at Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan. You're talking about 2 of the top 25 players in the NBA. They were paid handsomely.
Everybody
They have a great fan base. And I think Toronto's on the cusp of a transition this year.
Want to get your thoughts on the Philadelphia 76ers.
Right.
They say trust the process. We know they've had a #1 draft pick for a number of years, but I got to get your thoughts. Joel Embiid is a dynamite player, but does it benefit them to have the big man shooting 3-point baskets when he can really make a living inside the paint? You think that would be a liability for them in the playoffs?
No, I think Embiid's only going to get better.
Yeah.
His confidence is rising. The only thing about Embiid that I would question is his health.
Yes.
Will he be able to sustain the rigors of the playoffs?
Yes.
Will he get hurt? If he doesn't, he's going to be a problem. So I want to thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Last question. I'm not letting you off the hook, though.
All right, last question.
I got to ask you.
All right.
The game tonight, the game of the night for the NBA. We look at of course, Houston.
Yes.
And we look at Boston. I know that everybody's focused on that game because it's a swing game right now.
Right.
Both teams could be the top team in the East and West Conference. Could be a preview of the NBA Finals. I'm going to get your thoughts on what you expect to see tonight with the Boston Celtics and the Houston Rockets.
The Boston Celtics will be competitive because they play great defense. But I think the home crowd of Houston, the experience of James Harden, Chris Paul, Joe Johnson will be too much for Boston tonight.
That's a game definitely we really want to see the outcome of that. We're here in Sacramento, California, Golden One Center, the Sacramento Kings. and the Utah Jazz. My name is Charlton Curry with the big man,
Frank Red.
And you can follow what we do every Monday through Friday at 5 and 6 p.m. worldwide when we bring you Big C Sports on the Big C Sports Network, live from Golden One Center in Northern California. We'll talk to you next time.
Thank you.